girl was ugly, and everyone on Twitter was like, "Damn, she look a mess."
This girl.
When we got pregnant.
Yeah.
And I remember on people on Twitter was like, "She's
so
ugly." I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I saw that.
I felt bad.
She was bad. It was a rough era.
That weird. Just take it off.
Oh, you talking about his wife?
His wife.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if they married, but yeah, his baby moms. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. But
Honestly,
on Twitter,
honestly, I'm watching. I'm like, nah, she has dirt on somebody.
I said, whose niece is this? How did she get on the show? That's what I said.
How did you secure this role?
I said, whose niece? So he has to be. Has to be.
She's related to somebody.
That's what I said. When I saw her, I was like,
that's wild. Y'all
it's like you supposed.
Come on now. I'm gonna pull it up now just because you're making me pissed off. I saw her. I was like, who did she pay to get on the show?
That's crazy.
How you go? How do all the
give us
other?
a thumbs up for.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's whatever.
If we could keep talking shit. Felt bad for her. I ain't gonna lie, but Twitter was eating her ass up.
That's bad.
Oh my god.
Get to it. Let's go.
Yes. Okay.
He's not a baddie.
No.
Yeah, you come back to it like that.
It just doesn't make sense because all the other girls that he had on the show, and then I saw that, and I was like, and she's pregnant.
His high school sweetheart was better than her.
She was the only other one.
You tried to be
The other
nice
one is a
about it.
crackhead. She looked crazy for like 4 seasons.
She looked better
But
as
she
a
still looked better than her as a crackhead. Yes, you look
But
better.
I like when people look like regular people in shows. That's part of what I like about The Wire.
No.
Besides Idris, everybody looked rough on The Wire. There's a bunch of ugly niggas on The Wire, but it felt like real life.
They really just
corner boys don't be looking like Idris.
They just
like he
pulled
only
up
have
there.
one.
Yeah, but come on, how they went downhill from her to
My vibe.
Oh my god!
All right, let's go, yo.
Yeah. Welcome to the Kin of Comedy podcast. I am your host, Jerrica.
I go by the name Dante Hill.
I'm Talent Harris Jr.
And this is our first episode. So we're just going to go through little intros.
Let's get it.
Dante, you want to start us off? Who are you?
All right. Well, my real name is Rob Stapleton III. My pops is Rob Stapleton. He's a comedian known probably best for BET Comic View. Did Bad Boys of Comedy with Diddy in 2009 on Stars. Def Comedy Jam, Death of a Dynasty, where he played Hove, played Jay-Z, looks nothing like him. I myself am a hip-hop artist. I also just started a collective called Everybody Eats. That's a, entrepreneurial thing that I'm pursuing with some of my partners, trying to develop a entity for other artists coming from the inner city to kind of develop and build themselves up as well. But yeah, that's enough to start with.
It is enough to start with.
I'm Talent Harris Jr., son of Talent Sr., one of the New York Kings of Comedy, most notably from Def Comedy Jam. He used to host the Apollo. He did a movie called Sunset Park in the 90s.
Classic.
And myself, I've been pursuing stand-up comedy for the past 5 years. Yeah, I'm just in New York City trying to make a name for myself, trying to make it my bread and butter while I'm working a day job right now. So yeah, we just
You've been doing a
dream.
phenomenal job.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. I also didn't know that you were third.
I'm the third.
I
though.
didn't
My
know
whole
that,
name
bro.
is crazier than I made it sound.
I'm like, yo, why
I just
you
don't want
not-
to say all that because that's like
And
social
you the
security
second.
shit.
No.
I'm
you
technically
first?
I'm I don't know what would this say. It's like I'm technically not a junior.
Right.
So my dad's real government name. Excuse me, Pop, for
say
giving
that?
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like,
say that?
you
I'm
wanna
about to
edit
say,
that?
oh,
I
is
don't
he in
know.
This
trouble?
is Googleable information.
Okay, fair.
His real government name is James Troy Harris, and then he named me after his stage name, Talent, and my name is Talent James Troy
Your
Harris.
real name is Talent.
So I'm the original Talent.
Bro, me and my girl have been having this conversation for 3 months trying
So
to figure out if
funny.
that was really.
That's my real
Talent?
government name. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Talent Senior sounds.
yeah,
beautiful.
it was tough. It was tough growing up with this name, just as a kid.
Aw.
You know what I'm saying? It's like kids just
Yeah.
always make the same corny joke, like, "Oh, why'd your name Talent if you don't have any talent?" It's just like I
Yeah.
heard that
No, I dig that.
so many times, but now
It
it's
is so
now
funny.
that I'm doing something with the name, it's cool. It's cool now. Now that I'm
Yeah.
on
I think it
stage,
works
but
for you. You look
yeah,
like a
for
talent.
sure.
thank
I
you.
can't imagine you being anything else.
Like a James? No,
Yeah, no,
maybe
you
a
definitely
I could be a
James.
James,
But you
right?
look so
Yeah,
much
that
like
was
your
the
dad
point.
that
Or
I'll
Troy.
let it go.
I don't know about
No,
Troy.
Troy?
Troy a little more.
Troy a little
stocky,
bit
yeah.
rough.
Troy was on the football
I
team.
don't
I'll be
see
a little
Troy
darker.
for you.
Yeah,
A little
definitely
A
James.
little
though. James, for
James
sure.
works.
I got a James hairline.
If you haven't caught on, we are kids of comedians.
Wait, you ain't even intro yourself?
I know, but I'm going to get to myself. I'm leading into it.
She got the center cap.
You know, so my name is Jerrica. I said that earlier, but my dad is J.B. Smoove, known for his role as Truckee in Pootie Tang. Cult classic. Love it.
That's one of my favorite movies ever.
It's such a funny movie. He was on Cedric the Entertainer Presents when Cedric had his like variety show kind of. He did that in like 2007. 04 actually. I feel like I should go back. Right now, he's mostly known for his role in Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David as Leon Black. And you might have seen him on the Caesars commercials playing Caesar.
Yeah.
Which has been a huge deal for him. And
tell him I need
excited.
a discount code ASAP.
Right? I don't even think I have one.
You don't get those? You gotta get this.
I don't get those. And I'm heavily involved in the productions as well. And I don't get that at all.
You know what you never bring? You never bring up Spider-Man. Spider-Man's
I know he doesn't have the biggest role,
but that's a really big movie.
Spider-Man, he was in the last two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This whole one that's in the MCU, he's a part of.
Yeah, so now he's all excited about that too. He's like, he loved Spider-Man growing up, so I think it's like a big deal for him to be involved in like the Marvel universe. He loves that. My day job, I work with him. I do business development, and he takes up almost all my time. I'm also a tour manager. So anytime you see him doing stand-up, I'm there running the show, feeding everybody, booking the flights, like advancing the shows, talking to the managers, handling all that. That's my day job, but I also work as a manager for the Need to Know podcast. Shout out to Savon. He's the one that pushed me to do this podcast with my two lovely fellas right here.
And here we are.
Shout out to Savon.
So, shout out to Savon.
Shout out Savon.
But yeah, it keeps me busy. I love what I do. I hope to get bigger. Maybe talent will let me manage him. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
Let you.
Go.
I didn't know that was an option.
You know exactly how to manage it.
We're going to talk behind the scenes. But,
that's fine.
How did the three of us meet?
Oh, before we even get to that, one thing that you touched on that I forgot to mention is my dad is also a New York King of Comedy. Our fathers have toured. Yeah. Actually, this will segue into that, I guess. Oh, yeah. But our dads have toured together. How long the New York King's been going on? Got to be like 10 years? Yeah,
at least. It's been a while.
Word. That includes my pops, Rob Stapleton, your dad, Talent, Capone, and Mark Vieira, right? Yeah. That's the four. Yeah, and they're like considered like kings in like underground New York comedy. And even beyond that, like, they tour nationally with that. But
30 plus years.
Yeah, 30 plus years. And so it's always made me feel like we had like a sense of obligation to be cool, but we've only recently kind of started like kicking it like in the last like year or so, because you started working at Caroline's. I kick it at Caroline's a lot.
I started working there like right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So 2019 I think we met, and then like you used to just come back to Caroline's
and
just to get drunk for free. And like that's when we just started to see each other just in passing, and then we just started to see each other more often. And then
and Talent was always so low key. Like he just had such a chill demeanor. Like the calmness that you see from him on the pod is like the real character. Like, every time I'm around him, he's so low key. For a while, I was like, yo, I don't think this nigga like me.
Yo, that's what everybody feels when I'm at, especially at Caroline's. My face, I don't like.
Yeah, and that's just you.
Time, niggas
like, yo, he just thinking about how much he hates.
It's like I'm actually having a great time, but people just think, it's like, damn, he wants to kill me. But no, that's just my face.
How did y'all meet?
Well, we met in high school, right?
Oh, Westchester.
But it was weird. Yeah, growing up in Westchester, but it was weird because all of our dads have been friends for years. Yeah. Like before we even thought about. So
your dad actually was the reason my dad started doing comedy.
Yeah.
Because your dad used to have a night, I think, in the Bronx somewhere.
Probably.
I actually interviewed my dad before on my podcast, and he was telling me like one day JB he was just passing out the flyers for his night. He has like a weekly or something like that, and he's like, "Yo, come through" or whatever. So my dad would go to that where they would have, I think they would have a moment for people that are like up and coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a contest or something like that, and he started
like
to
like,
he would win, and then after a while it was like, all right, like let somebody else win or something like that, and then like he just got into the circuit that way. But your dad had been like already a little bit more established, maybe a few years into comedy, and then He was encouraging my dad, both from Mount Vernon, New York.
Yeah.
That's a really dope connection.
And then Rob is actually my godfather.
Right. Yeah.
So,
JB's my goddad, and we're like blood
yeah,
brothers and sisters kind of, because we've been around each other our whole lives. So
Yes.
I feel like the connection's always been like that.
Yeah. We have baby photos together.
Yeah, I know
so
Jerrica
we've
for forever. I don't remember a time before I knew you. We weren't around each other for a long time.
It was a big gap.
Yeah.
But we have like pictures together where I think we had to be below 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember those
You got
things
about
too.
2 years? 1 year, 2 years.
I think I'm a little, I don't know how much. I don't want to say, you want to say how old you are, Kim?
I mean, you.
I'll say me. I'm 31.
Mind. I'm 29.
Oh, wow.
I just turned 29, and you got me by 1 year.
I'm 30.
Oh, this
Okay,
works
yeah,
out.
29, 30,
different
31.
demographics.
We watched the same shit growing up. Y'all watched Hey Arnold, right?
We're not too off.
Yeah, it never felt like that.
No.
You, yeah.
No, I couldn't. You can't really tell.
Yeah, so we go way back.
We that little, so.
That's a fact.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And now look at us.
Now look at us.
Like hanging
proud
out
of us.
and potting. Oh my gosh.
The fake first episode.
Oh my god.
What does that mean? What does fake mean?
Am I breaking the third? What is the fourth wall?
Fake mean?
Oh my god, you're not supposed to tell
Maybe we
that.
should acknowledge it.
That we've
Maybe
recorded episodes
we-
before
They'll
this?
probably make it
We
even
did our first
funnier.
episode and it absolutely sucked. So we're running this back.
But it's kind of awkward because I feel like we're retreading old ground, and Talon's telling certain stories, and I'm half thinking I should be like, oh, that's interesting. but I remember this shit. So it's like, yeah, we just wanted to really make clear our connections to each other and kind of why we're doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just kind of have the energy floating around the room a little better.
Right.
We had to get into the rhythm of
Getting used to each other.
Yeah. So Talon, how long have you been doing comedy?
I just made 5 years
Ooh, that's
in December.
exciting.
So yeah. Got a chance. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So we used to you worked at Caroline's before I was working there.
Yeah, that was years ago I was over there.
What happened,
That was
man?
years
Yeah, what
ago.
year was that?
Oh, nah, I ain't fuck with They closed, I could say it now.
they closed.
Can you say it?
Can't, okay,
That's fine, whatever.
I'm
We'll
gonna fuck up.
We could bleep his name.
Yeah, we'll bleep his name.
Right. I won't say his name. He was not to be named. Yeah, dog. I was working there, and then I don't know. I think it's something about like that place that was just uncomfortable to me because of the amount of rich white people that used to come there all the time. And I'm not like Malcolm X, but I have a certain type of respect I demand around like rich white people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you work in service, it could just be really weird.
Of course.
And so like there was a point where we used to host a lot of events, and that's when the richest people would come out.
Oh, the benefits and
Yeah,
shit
you know,
that.
like Bob Saget, Scleroderma, great people for the most part. Everybody that I've had conversations with. It's not the entire place that ruined me. It was just this one guy who was just super disrespectful. And he, while I was working the event, we were giving out like hors d'oeuvres and everything. And so all these little sandwiches and everything, and people are dropping little pieces of their bread on the carpet.
On purpose?
Nah, just people eating and
just
talking.
eating
Yeah,
and
so shit just
okay.
gets in there. And he asked me to go get some water. Like he asked me to go get like a gallon of water to like pour on it so that the bread would rise up. And I was like, all right, whatever. Just weird stuff. You can tell somebody who just owns the shit. He just has like mad money, but he doesn't really understand what practicality is. He just wants to feel like he's doing something. So I went and I got it. And I was like, all right. Then he asked me to get down on my knees. He specifically said, now get down on your knees and just get it up with your fingers. And I left.
Oh, I would have
I was like crazy. It took everything in me to not just knock him out right there.
Ooh.
Get down.
Yeah, it was
on your
crazy.
knees.
And
That's
a lot of guys I know, like if I would have shared that story, they would have been like, nigga, how you didn't fuck him up? Like I feel like I kind of let the race down by walking away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Nah, it would have been worse.
yeah, I wouldn't.
Because it's like nobody's gonna. All they gonna see is the violent act.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
else.
But that just, it wasn't suitable working conditions for me.
That's crazy because
I got a lot of good
I had
memories
very
there, though.
minimal
Sure.
interactions with the person that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like my experience was like completely different. Like I really barely even seen those like the higher ups. But I was working there when everything shut down, and yeah, that shit was tough. It was like,
I'm like honestly
was-
sad.
that
I
was-
just found out like maybe a couple days ago.
That
These
they
two didn't tell me at all, and known for a month. I see them once a
I
week.
mean, it was all they was blasting that shit on
Yeah.
But guys, I've been off
IG.
Instagram
was
for like
everywhere.
a month and some change, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Someone
I guess
told
I
me.
figured you knew. 'Cause
I'm
we
actually
didn't talk
really
about it.
You
sad.
just didn't know about it because you're being a healthy human being. It's like
There
Look
you
at me.
go. You got
My
other
brain.
things going on.
Yes. I used to just go to Caroline's to pee when I have a
Just
drunk
to
night.
pee.
in Times Square, and I knew there was another place would let me in to go to the bathroom.
We've done it. Like I've
Knock
taken
on
my
the
girl
door.
over there to do the same thing.
Hey guys, it's me.
Oh, you mean like on the walk by, like if you in the area?
Yeah, if I'm in the area, I could be a couple blocks away. I'm like, oh, I got to pee. And you can't just go anywhere to go to the bathroom in the city. So
New York City,
I would just go there to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. Solid place. Sad.
Yeah,
And the food.
There were a lot of good
the food
people
was really good. My dad used to do like 6 nights, 6 days, 6 shows in like November or like April every year. No, that's sad.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know, things start, things end. That's how it goes.
I heard that they might move to a different spot.
Yeah, I heard a lot of things.
Moved,
man. I don't care.
They was at a
happened.
different location before.
Okay.
So,
but them turning into a ping pong thing
that was
seems very silly. But whatever.
I didn't know there was like that big of a market for ping pong.
I know, that's what I saw. I was like, what?
But it's owned by like Susan Sarandon or something, they said. So I don't know if this is something that's bigger outside of New York and now this is going to be
I heard that they're trying to turn Times Square into something like Vegas, where it's like out like that.
They're working on casinos out here.
Like the steps. I think they're turning that into like a big like performance outdoor thing or something like that. I heard something like that.
I feel like there's always some kind of concert
Casinos will come in. It's going to...
In Times Square specifically, casinos?
Yeah.
I heard something about Floyd Mayweather or something.
Down there. You'll never see me down there. It's clipped.
All right, let's get back to us. So, all right, I want to hear more about you, Talent. So, you've been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
How did you develop your own style of comedy in a world where you can't help but be compared to your own father because he has such a strong legacy in the comedic world? Did that pressure make you fold?
That question is crazy.
It's loaded.
I'm going to snap back to it. Don't get distracted.
He's so good at this.
He just had
he
that.
He just like switched
it
on and off.
Nah, that question was crazy.
It's great. It's very loaded. Go ahead.
That's a very good question. I don't know. I just feel like I've gotten a chance to like grow outside of my dad's demographic. So most of the people that I perform in front of, they're not even familiar with my dad's generation. It's a lot of just like, I don't know. I'm in a lot of, you would say, mainstream rooms in New York City where it's a lot of white faces. I do a lot of stuff in Brooklyn, but it's a specific type of like, I don't know,
like a peer.
Our peer, like the way we grew up watching Comic View, Def Comedy Jam. Not every black person was on that wave. That I've learned. You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes I'll mention my dad, they'll be like, "Oh, I never heard of him," and then they'll check him out. Like, oh shit, yo. Like, but
wow.
I feel like all the real comics, I feel like that Def Comedy era was such a formative year for a lot of how comics build now. But when you're not connected to the world like we organically are, I've realized a lot of people don't know that too. The whitest comics though, like they'll know. They'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, like, there will be a random white dude like, yo, that's your dad, bro. And I'm like, world. You know about that?
Right. But if you're outside, he's just it's Kevin Hart. It's like your dad. I think it's transcended that level where like JB Smoove is just JB Smoove, period.
Yeah.
But our dads, I feel like, are legends within the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very our dads are more of the chitlin circuit.
Chitlin circuit. Right.
Chitlin circuit.
Yeah. Right. That's what it's called.
JB Smoove, of course, he started there, but then he you know.
He got out of there kind of quick.
I think my favorite part is like when I go on tour with him and like we'll see a lot of older black people come out and they're like, I've been following him since he was on Def Comedy Jam. And those stories are fun and like that warms my heart. I'm like, they'd be like, I love coming to his shows. I'm like, you've been following him for that long? It's like 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that warms my heart because a lot of his new fans are usually like white. Like and they're all coming from Curb, and they're like, "Get in that ass, Larry." It's like the same shit every time. God. So you know, Leon, we love you, Leon. They don't even address him as JB Smoove. They call him fucking Leon.
That's crazy.
That's crazy that he gets Leon because I feel like his career is like so much bigger than Leon.
No, they like call him Leon.
Larry David is huge. That's what it is. Like white people love Larry David.
I mean, I love Seinfeld though. When I
love Curb. I think Curb is genius.
Funny.
Seinfeld, I get why everybody like views it as highly as they do. It just didn't appeal to me the same. I feel like Martin was mine. Yeah. I think Martin was like...
So I'm writing like a little pilot right now, and I'm kind of like studying like Curb, Seinfeld.
Funny.
Like Atlanta.
Shit
like that.
Yeah. Structurally, that's super sound. I mean, Seinfeld for me, there was always a disconnect. It always reminded me, maybe because it came on next to like Everybody Loves Raymond and shit. It was just such a white block of television by the time I got into it.
Curb
like
was
Friends.
So you never really got into Curb?
No, I love Curb.
No,
when did
that's
you get
my
into
shit.
it?
Yeah.
Curb is literally Seinfeld, but with curses.
A long ass time ago.
The
a long time ago. I can't even remember when. As long as I've known about it, I just really respect the behind the scenes of it, like how the episodes is set up. How it's formatted, yeah.
It's completely improv.
Yeah, right. But it's just like concepts, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of like it's just kind of like drafted almost.
They do an outline.
They have to carry it outside of that.
And it's improv.
Yeah, I think that's
just
fire.
So cool.
Conceptually, and then it really highlights the actual ability of each individual that's on it. You know what I'm saying? To actually adjust to those things. And the way that it all comes together, it's fire to me.
It's always have like a star-studded like comedic cast. Yeah. Like people that are going to be able to perform in that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Not everybody's going to be able to do the improv thing.
Yeah.
No.
I think Seinfeld is fire structurally. It just doesn't grab me in that same way. I guess
it's not as relatable. It is for a specific demographic.
Right. And I think Martin, there's a lot of spontaneity to Martin. You know what I mean? A lot of unscripted moments in there, and I get it doesn't have the same
It does have the similar Curb thing.
Yeah, it has a,
but it was
live studio audience.
Yeah, live studio audience, but it was also written to appeal to people who look like us.
Yeah, right. So and that does a lot for me. Yeah. I get why it didn't have the same like mainstream appeal, but I feel like in retrospect, every time I hear people speak on Martin really highly too.
It's a classic.
Undeniably classic.
Well, I just watched the reunion like last week too. It's part of why
it
was fly.
It was good.
The shit they highlight in there, it just shows it. I think that's why some of these reunions are so cool to see.
Yeah.
You think they ever do an In Living Color one?
I hope so.
Comedy shit? I don't know. I feel like there's like
I wish they would bring it back.
tensions there.
It's weird.
I don't think with the cast.
It's weird with the cast?
So?
I think I saw like Tommy Davidson like got issues with Jamie Foxx or something. I seen DJ Vlad like saying he used to pick on him.
Come on.
Jim Carrey be all over the place. Jim Carrey got love like for the Wayans brothers. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
They might be able to do it. They might could do that.
My dad auditioned for it back in the day.
Oh word?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, damn. He was out. When did In Living Color come out?
80.
Early 90s?
Damn, when was he?
Early 90s or 80 something?
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
we need somebody like Alex, what he was doing on the Joe Budden podcast, like in the back, like looking shit up for us.
I know, we need somebody.
A fact checker?
Yeah, we need a fact checker.
Nobody
Shout out to Alex too.
At least you got the laptop.
I got my laptop.
Shout out Need to Know.
I know that the fucking the DVDs is expensive as hell on Amazon.
For what?
In Living Color.
Yeah.
1990.
You don't be making them no more?
1990, yeah.
Well, where am I playing a DVD at? Let's be for real.
No, just to get them. Yeah.
Where are you gonna play it?
Xbox.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
But you still play DVDs on your Xbox.
Where am I playing DVD?
I went to a concert today for my Nana's birthday, and like the choir gave out a CD, and the whole time I said, where are they gonna play the CD? They don't even make like, I guess somebody's old car, but
there's no CD drive in that computer, is there?
No.
Nope.
No. What year is that?
That's crazy.
Oh, you bought this 92 years ago?
Yeah. No.
There's no fucking CD.
Dog.
Was a CD-ROM?
Stop. You a dinosaur buying the DVD sets. It's like collector's items now.
It's
That's
sad.
It.
That's sad. That means we get old. That's when I see the things like the 25-year reunion of like a show. I'm like, dang. Like it makes you feel like I'm getting old kind of quick.
Yeah. No,
we're still young, but I still feel like I'm getting a little old.
All right, y'all. Jerrica, let's hear some more about you. What made you want to pursue a career in media, understanding that your father is also a huge figure? So I could imagine that the pressure that you feel to be overwhelming is probably substantial. You know what I mean? Because everything that you do has like this huge shadow over it of what his presence is to people. You know what I mean?
First of all, I tried to run from all of this. I didn't want to do entertainment. And somehow I ended up in entertainment. I started off at UTA, so I worked in the mailroom. It was a very interesting experience.
What's UTA stand for?
Oh, sorry, guys. United Talent Agency.
Me?
If you think you think of any like top actor, singer, they're repped by UTA.
Okay. And that's where you started.
Well, I had like other odd jobs. I worked in like retail and
the mailroom.
Like everybody start. That's
where you start.
You have
to start there. No matter how old you are, you're starting in the mailroom. It's such an interesting experience.
58 in the mailroom is crazy.
Somebody will fucking do it. Like if they want to be like, I want to be an agent, I'm gonna have to start in the mailroom. Yeah. Unless you like are coming from another agency, they'll just let you kind of. If you're already an agent somewhere else, most of the time you will just jump up. But if you have no experience in entertainment and you're having a life change and you want to do something else. I think I was 25 when I started there.
That's not too long ago then.
No, it wasn't too long ago.
Considering where you are now.
Yeah. So 25 when I started there, I was an intern. So mind you, I worked retail, but I also worked like a real big, I won't even call it a big girl job, but I worked at a marketing company before I moved to LA to do that. And
you was in there for free?
where?
I heard intern.
No, they paid us.
Okay, paid intern.
It was like
Paid intern.
$11 an hour. It was really low, but I had nothing else to do, so I was just there every day.
5 years ago, that was a lot.
No, I'm here to afford rent. So you would find ways to just sit and try to find things to do so you could be there longer because we got paid hourly. So first day, they're like, okay, we're delivering mail. I was like, delivering mail? So I had to like learn the buildings. There's 2 buildings. I'm like putting stamps on mail, delivering the mail, walking around, delivering food. I drove around Cynthia Erivo for like a week one time. What else did I do? You have to cover desk. So if an assistant for an agent was out for some reason, you would go on their desk and cover. Nerve-wracking as hell. Like, because you're just replacing somebody who's doing their job every day. So you have to answer phones and you're getting screamed at most of the time because the agents are kind of like hard asses. Yeah. So that was a very interesting environment. I used to walk around and tell people that they couldn't call them stupid and dumb and stuff because I'm like, they can't do that to you guys. And I was like the mom. It was so great. It was fun. I enjoyed my time there. I did 6 months in the mailroom because I was really like, I didn't want to just jump on any desk. I wasn't interested in talent. I wasn't interested in like lit or anything like that. I wanted to still stay in the marketing lane. They tried to push me to do something else.
Like what?
Like the talent desk or that's like just repping anybody who's doing TV or something like that. I didn't feel like doing that. That's too like cutthroat for me. I wanted more of like a relaxed job. And then I went to Brand Studio where we oversaw like the branding of UTA. But then if clients came and they wanted to do, say they wanted to release a champagne under their name, we would help design it and like name it and like help them like just overall branding of it. Wow. So that was fun. Did that, left there, worked for Sofia Vergara. That was during the pandemic. So I only worked there for 8 months because it got spooked, so I couldn't stay. And that's where I started the business development stuff. So I was helping her with the social media and like any brand deals like Ritz crackers and stuff like that. So I did that. And then I took off pandemic because I was loving those little checks I was getting. I did not want to work again. And
what were you doing when I came out to LA?
When was that?
That was the summer.
Nothing.
21.
I wasn't doing shit. Nothing.
You was traveling.
I was collecting those checks happily.
Yeah, you was traveling for a little minute. Wasn't you just moving around?
Off unemployment checks, which is crazy. I don't even know how I was making that work, but I was.
You wasn't the only one. I know mad people that was doing that.
Unemployment, that shit. I wouldn't have been able to move to Brooklyn, honestly. Everybody
came up somewhere.
I didn't get the extra $600 though.
Yeah. Son,
I think we got a crib off of that.
That shit.
I love that for you.
I'm like,
right.
I didn't get the extra $600. I only got extra $300, so that was upsetting. But it's just interesting living in, just trying to like keep up with how busy my dad is, and like I took a different lane, but it still feels like I have to like kind of prove myself in a way.
How did that come like?
I did one thing for him. I helped him with something with his podcast, and he was like, "Hey, can you help me?" I'm like,
it was just like a slow progression into management.
He tricked me.
He coerced you into management.
I said, "I'm not coming back to entertainment." This is what I said because I was like, "I'm done. I don't want to work entertainment anymore. It's stressful." He's like, "If you come back, I'll." I was like, "Well, I want to get paid this." He said to me, "You're gonna charge your father that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm charging you a nice amount of money."
Yeah.
Because I work hard and I have like 5 different fucking jobs.
Yeah.
I'm not just sitting on my ass.
Did he accept your deal?
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
It was a little bit of a fight, but he did.
Yeah.
You know.
And you still work with him now, right?
I still work with him
Y'all
now.
just came back from a tour not long ago, right? Like 2-3 weeks ago?
No, we haven't toured since November.
Yeah.
I feel like New York was, I don't know, Cincinnati or something was the last one. It's in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Ohio.
y'all do still work together. How is that? Like the day-to-day?
Oh, I love it. It's fun.
That's fly.
I'm like getting my time back because I grew up without him. So,
Yeah.
you know, he lived in LA. I lived in New York with my mom. So it's been nice, like, spending time with him and seeing how similar we are. Because I was like, oh, I'm just like my mom, like, whatever. But that man we have the same brain. It's, like, sickening to, like, even notice.
Yeah.
But,
You think you're a lot like your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Sometimes begrudgingly, like I don't like it.
Yo, me too, bro.
Y'all don't like that?
Nah.
Cause I really, I don't know.
Not like I hate it, like I'm him, but it's like, well, like I didn't get too much into my background. Like a lot of it for me is like growing up with my dad. Like I always went to his comedy shows, and I like had a natural affinity for that world. I have a little brother, you know, Ryan.
Yeah.
And he never was like that. Like he never wanted to go to shows. It just wasn't his thing. I get that. Like it was like I'll kick it with dad, but I don't want to see you at the show. For me, because of that line of work and all the traveling and all the shows, that was how I got timing with him. Before the shows, after the shows, kind of seeing him do like certain meetings and seeing how they handle the business and seeing how he performed. So I've been a fan of comedy for my whole life. But I never had a natural affinity to get into it. But I love the world of it through like that form of exposure to it. You know what I mean? And my dad always was like an articulate guy and always kind of like broke down and expressed like how his business worked. And so I understood from an early age how the consumer's viewing that and how the audience is viewing what he does is completely different from how the shit actually operates. So when I started exploring what I wanted to do, it wasn't comedy, but I did love music. And I feel like it was really hard for me to, like I've had tons of normal jobs. I have a normal job right now, but I just know that I don't want to commit my entire life to something that's outside of that space that I feel like is on some level my family business because I'm naturally acclimated to a lot of things in that environment that overwhelm other people because I get how it works. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I can make something work in this shit. You know what I mean? And music has always been my thing in that way. But yeah, a lot of that is because of what I get from my dad. But it's weird because I love my moms. And my mom's is like my best friend, but I got so much of my dad in me.
So weird.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And you're a girl, so to hear you say that. Right. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. Like, most of the time my mom's like, you're just like your father. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The things that annoy me about him, I do it myself. And I'm like, oh no. Like, I'm always trying to be serious. I'm like, hey, okay, we have to make sure we're at this place at 11. He's like, what do you mean? I'm asleep. I'm not playing, you know? But that's like things I do to my mom all the time. I'm always making jokes. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you just can't do it with him.
Yeah.
Both of y'all.
Yeah, it's like don't make any sense.
Me and my pops, it's like every time we get into it, it's like that. Like I feel like we just take things the same way. You know what I mean? And we have very intense opinions that we stand strongly behind that I feel like, you know, we articulate well too. So it could be two different sides of something. And it's like, nah, I really feel what I'm saying. He really feel what he's saying. I feel like when you're grown, that'd be so much more frustrating. But I see it in me. Yeah. So it's crazy.
So your main passion is music.
Yeah, that's my main passion.
Do you feel like your dad at any point maybe pressured you to move towards comedy or anything like that?
I don't even think he'll remember this, but I remember one time, some comedian somewhere, because, you know, I'm sure y'all have a similar enough upbringing where y'all know there have been times where I've been around conversations my pops had with niggas that my mom's would have been pissed if she knew I was around. Like that I was just aware of certain things, you know what I mean? And I remember one time, my dad, not thinking about it, but one of his friends was like, you gonna let him be a comedian one day? And I remember my pop being like, fuck no, I would never let him do this shit. And I think that was just, and I don't think he would feel like that now. I don't think that was something he had processed a huge amount of thought into. I just think in that moment, he probably just know all the perils of it. You know what I mean? He was like, I don't want to guide my son down that route. Right. So he never put pressure on me to do that. And my relationship with him, like I said, was me liking to be at those shows because I liked it. He ain't forced me to go to no shows. I liked being there with him, you know? So I always was just kicking it with my dad first. I didn't feel like I was just
you just
around
seen it as
comedians.
Quality time.
And I met fly-ass comics, like Smokey, you know what I'm saying? Like Yep Hops, you know what I'm saying? JB, like I knew a lot of OG comics in a really cool way. Michael Blackson used to sleep on the couch. I used to throw my toy trucks at his head, you know what I mean, and shit. Like we had a lot of cool relationships and stuff. And
you grew up in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, Tracy Towers.
I wish I was living like closer to the city because I was in Long Island, so I didn't get it. You know what I mean? I didn't get to that quality time as much as you probably got. You know
I got a lot of it though. Even when my parents got separated, that would be how I saw him. You know, wherever it was at. I remember I was like 9, 10. He started like if I was out of school, it was a vacation. He would fly me out with him to the show. I would like stay in a hotel sometimes. Yeah.
My dad did the same thing.
Yeah, and it was fly to me, you know. And I was getting game all those years. That is essentially what our family business is. Right. You know what I mean? Like comedy, you know? So it was like in observing that, if my pops was like like, I don't know what you call it niggas, like somebody who did like wood shop or something, like somebody who just like, you know what I mean? If it was something that felt more practical, like work with his hands, it would feel more in line to kind of naturally be inclined to develop that same trade because you have an affinity toward it.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it's entertainment, doing it in the first place for anybody feels more impossible than possible getting into it. So when you're the kid of somebody who did it, but you haven't done it yet, yours is going to look kind of crazy too. Or if you do get anything done, it's going to look like you only got it through them.
Right.
It's a weird little conundrum I be feeling.
It is.
Is there anything that you pick up from just like watching your dad growing up and going to the club for quality time? Anything you pick up like watching him, the way he maneuvers in his business that you apply to your business and music?
Shit, again, probably the same thing as y'all. My patience is set up a certain way with certain things where I understand what makes sense and what don't. Like, it's hard to sucker me in situations, like deal-wise and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not lazy. Like, I know how to get up and I can get to it if I want certain shit to work out.
That.
You know what I mean?
The work ethic is crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You just dropped something, right? What's that joint called?
Yeah, I just dropped a project called The View from... Oh, my dog, yo.
Look at you plugging it. Oh, look at this. Brotherhood.
2020, baby. What you call
that.
it? I mean, the show, not the year. Yeah.
I don't know shit because I had to delete Instagram.
You be in there now. You be doing a lot though. I dig it. I know.
I don't know what's going on.
I should have just dropped in a group chat. Yeah, I just dropped a EP called The View from Halfway Down, like on December 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, and I incorporated a lot of what I've been learning business-wise into it. I've been doing so much behind the scenes shit. Like again, like growing up and observing the business, getting into music initially. Like when you was around, like you remember with me when Rock was managing me. A lot of that was doing the in front of camera stuff, just shooting the videos, recording the music, and kind of getting vibes in the studio and shit like that. That feels like you're doing something, you know what I mean? And the records was doing what they had to do. Like we got Sway off for like the first project. I did like an interview with Sway, and like we was able to perform OVO Fest in Toronto. So we had things going on, but my infrastructure was horrible.
Yeah.
So like as soon as I lost like one piece, it was like, oh man, how do I keep this piece together? And then you lose this piece, like oh shit, and it's like trying to keep everything together.
Right.
So the time since then, I haven't done a lot of releases. That's why I don't speak too heavily about the music, because I understand that this is a business where it's all show and proof. You know what I'm saying? It's like understanding how to make sure that it's getting into the right hands, that it's being respected by the right people, that it's put together in the right way to be presented in certain formats and in certain places. And I've performed better off of this project in a week than my last one did in a year. Oh, wow. So, you know, just shit like that, bro. But yeah. The music is the passion, but I take a lot of how I operate in it from my pops. But yeah, man.
I love that.
Yeah, that was deep.
That was deep. This is a form of journaling for us.
Yeah, that's a fact.
People get to hear our stories, you know. They do a lot of... My goal with this, eventually we hope to make it a docu-series, but we wanted to start with a podcast, and... They focus a lot on like celebrity wives and stuff, but the kids kind of get forgotten about. And we have a different experience, I think, from wives, you know, especially having parents who are kind of always on the front line, you know, big personalities, and like trying to find our space. We're trying to make space or make noise and try to grow up and be seen. When you have parents like that, it's tough. So I opened the door for us to sit here and talk, kind of get shit off our chest, and just really hear our experience.
That's
and
a fact.
You know,
it's a different perspective.
In between,
that's 100% facts.
We have some good episodes for you guys. Stay tuned, and thanks for hanging with us on the Kenna Comedy Podcast, and we'll see y'all later.